What would happen if the TV in the living room knew everything you watched? Not only knowing what movies you watch, but also know whether you watch in the evening or morning, which scene you paused at, how many times you watched an episode. Even in some cases, it even records the voice commands you say to the remote. Sounds scary, but that's how many smart TVs work nowadays. To understand the content you watch, many companies use a technology called automatic content recognition. This system can scan images on the TV screen, identify the program, and send data to the advertising system. It is noteworthy that many people are completely unaware of this feature's existence. They simply think that they are buying a TV, but in reality, they might be buying a data collection device placed right in their living room. In this video, we will explore the 5 smart TV brands with the highest risk of privacy invasion, and more importantly, how you can disable that tracking in just a few steps. Does your house have such a TV? Stay tuned until the end. There is a figure that startled many. In 2017, Vizio was discovered to be tracking over 11 million TVs without users being aware at all, without asking for consent. No clear warning. Silently gather. The result? 2.2 million USD fine from the FTC. 17 million USD to settle a class action lawsuit. Sounds like a lot of money. But in the data advertising industry, that's just like a parking fine. This is the interesting paradox of Vizio. You walk into an electronics store, Samsung 55-inch, quite expensive. LG OLED, even more expensive. Vizio 55-inch, cheaper by nearly half. You think, oh, I just saved a ton of money. But actually, not really. You just changed the payment method. Instead of paying with cash, you pay with your own data. Vizio uses a technology called ACR, Automatic Content Recognition. Sounds a bit like AI, but simply put, the TV will scan what is being displayed on the screen, not just Netflix, YouTube, Disney+, but also PlayStation, Blu-ray players, cable television. In other words, anything that appears on the screen can be identified. Then this data is sent to the advertising system. They will know what movies you like, what time you watch them, which series you binge watch until 3 a.m. And of course, advertisers love this information. If Samsung resembles a luxury car, LG resembles a technology showroom, then Vizio is like a cheap TV, but behind it is a data collection machine. It's not a coincidence that many analysts call this model economics of surveillance. Cheap TVs, data collection, selling ads, and making money. And the interesting thing is, most users have no idea this is happening. They just think, I'm just watching Netflix. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, your TV might be recording every one of your viewing habits. But Vizio is not the strangest case yet, because the next brand on this list not only tracks apps on the TV, it tracks every device you plug into the TV. Yes, even your game console. We will talk about it right after this. Oh, if you like this kind of tech breakdown content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here we speak plainly. No PR, no beating around the bush. Imagine this scene. You just got home from work. Turn on the TV. Don't open Netflix. No YouTube. You just plug the Xbox into the HDMI to play games. Sounds harmless, right? But there's an interesting detail. Your TV is still observing everything on the screen, not in the way of a hidden camera, but in the way of analyzing displayed content. LG has a system with a rather mild name, Live Plus. Sounds like a feature to enhance user experience. But translated directly for clarity, it is technology for content recognition across the entire screen, not only applicable in TVs, but also the things you plug into HDMI. For example, Xbox, Apple TV, Blu-ray player, TV box. In other words, the TV is looking at its own screen and trying to understand what you are watching, what games you are playing, what time you are watching. The interesting thing is that LG does not hide this at all. In the documentation for their advertising platform, LG states quite directly, the content viewing data is used to target ads more accurately. In everyday language, we want to know what you like, so we can sell ads for exactly that. This is the funny part. LG is often advertised as high-end TVs, the most beautiful OLEDs on the market, with a WebOS interface as smooth as silk. And indeed, the LG screen is truly beautiful. But behind that shiny OLED glass, there is a system doing the job of logging your viewing habits. If Vizio resembles a cheap data collection machine, then LG is like a security camera embedded right on the screen, but the goal is advertising. The difference is that LG does it more subtly and discreetly, and this is just tracking on one device. The next brand on this list is playing a much bigger game. Not just watching TV. They connect data from TVs, phones, tablets, all together. That's right. We are about to talk about Samsung. Have you ever found yourself in this puzzling situation? You watch an action movie on a Samsung TV tonight. The next day, you open your phone and ads pop up. Action movies, shooting games, new movie packages. Coincidence? Maybe, but it might not be a coincidence. Samsung doesn't just sell TVs, they sell a huge ecosystem of devices. TV, Galaxy phone, smartwatch, tablet. And when you use multiple Samsung devices at the same time, everything starts to connect with each other. Samsung has a system that sounds very corporate. Viewing Information Services. The name sounds like a service to improve viewer experience. But to put it simply, it's a system that tracks the content you watch on TV. Then this data can be used in Samsung Ads, their advertising platform. The interesting thing is here. If Vizio is like a cheap data trader, LG is like a screen observer, then Samsung is like a puzzle piece assembler. The TV knows what you're watching. Your phone knows what you're searching for. The watch knows when you are online. When combined, they can understand what type of user you are. To put it simply, it's not just that you watch Marvel movies, but rather, you watch Marvel at 11 p.m. on TV after searching for the trailer on your phone. That's a much more complete picture of the data. And Samsung is quite clever too. In theory, you can turn off some tracking options. But if you've ever tried to navigate the Smart TV menu, you'll know that feeling is like searching for a switch in a maze. Interestingly, Samsung is not the most extreme case on this list. The next brand truly makes many security experts frown, because they don't just track the content, they track every little action when you watch TV. Fast forward, all of it can become behavioral data. We are talking about Roku. If you enjoyed decoding the technology behind marketing, stay tuned to the channel. There are many exciting things ahead. A quite noteworthy figure. In 2024, approximately 576,000 Roku accounts were compromised after security incidents. 500,000 accounts. To make it easier to visualize, that's almost the entire population of a small city. Email, password, payment information, everything could be exposed. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now let's go back to a very familiar scene. You are watching a movie. To the exciting part. You pause, go get some water, come back and watch more. Sounds very normal, right? But in the Roku ecosystem, each such action can become a piece of data. Tam dung, rebobinar, fast forward, change the app. All help build a picture of viewer behavior. This is the distinguishing feature of Roku. If Vizio tracks content, LG tracks screens, Samsung tracks ecosystems, then Roku focuses on something very valuable for advertising: behavior. Not only does it know that you watch movies, and it knows at which minute you stop watching, whether you skip ads, which series you binge watch. In other words, Roku can understand how you watch TV. And there's one quite interesting detail. Roku doesn't just run applications. Many applications on this platform also have third-party trackers. Simply put, just like when you install an app on your phone. Inside the app, there can be many different data analysis systems. And in 2025, Roku got entangled in a rather sensitive lawsuit. They were accused of collecting children's viewing data without parental consent. This could violate the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA, in the US. Just joking a bit. If Netflix is like a home theater, then Roku sometimes feels like the note-taker sitting behind the couch. What you watch? How long do you watch? How do you react? All of them can become behavioral statistics. But even Roku is not the most controversial name on this list. The number one brand goes even further. Not just tracking content, not just monitoring behavior, but also record your voice. That's right, we are talking about Amazon Fire TV. Voice search is a feature on smart TVs that many people love. You pick up the remote and say, "Alexa, play an action movie." The TV immediately responds. Quick, smart, very convenient. But there's one detail that the advertisement often doesn't mention. When you say that command, the voice command is recorded, sent to Amazon's cloud, and can be stored in your account. Fire TV not only knows what you watch, it can collect a lot of things. Your IP address, network location, Wi-Fi name, viewing history, apps you open, and the time you watch. And all this data has a common destination, your Amazon account. This is what makes many tech experts find it a bit strange. Amazon is not just a company that makes TV boxes. They are also the largest shopping platform in the world, a cloud computing company, and a smart home device manufacturer. So when Fire TV collects data, it doesn't stand alone. When combined, the system can understand what movie genres you like, what products you buy, what you search for. That's almost a complete user profile. If Vizio is like a cheap data collector, LG is like a screen observer, Samsung is like a data patcher, Roku is like a behavioral analyst, then Amazon is like the one who owns the entire map. They don't just look at one device, they look at the entire ecosystem. And that is why Fire TV is often categorized in the highest privacy risk group in many technology analyses. Not because it is dangerous, but because it knows too much. But don't panic. The good news is, you don't need to throw away your TV. You just need to know how to control it. In the next section, we will look at 3 simple ways to reduce TV tracking you today. After hearing this entire list, many people often react by saying, "So the TV is watching me? Then I guess I have to throw it away." Wait a minute. Smart TV is not a spy. It's not a secret government camera, nor a spy movie listening device. The truth is much simpler. Smart TV is an advertising device. It sounds a bit blunt, but that's how the tech industry is operating. In the past, TV companies made money by selling hardware. You buy a TV, they receive the money. Done. But now TVs are getting cheaper and cheaper. A 5.5-inch TV can sometimes be as cheap as a few meals at a restaurant. So the question is, where do they make their money? The answer: user data. Companies don't need to know who you are, but they really want to know what movies you like to watch, what time you are online, and which genres you watch the most, because that data helps make advertisements more accurate. A simple example: if the TV knows you've been watching action movies all week, then the ads that pop up could be action games, Marvel movies, new streaming services, slightly sarcastically speaking. Today's TV is like a marketing employee sitting quietly in the living room. It doesn't say anything. Don't disturb. Just note, this person likes horror movies. Oh, this person watches YouTube at 11 p.m. But this is the important part. You are not completely powerless. Most of these tracking systems can be turned off. It's just that companies usually place it quite deep in the menu. Like, if the user doesn't look for it, then just leave it on. No need to break the TV. No need to live like it's 1998. Just knowing a few small tips. First, turn off ACR, the content recognition feature. This is the most important thing. ACR is the technology that helps the TV scan the content on the screen. If you turn it off, the TV will lose the ability to identify the program you are watching. Usually, you can find it under Privacy. Viewing information. Kai.Kwangkao. The names of each brand are slightly different, but almost every smart TV has this option. Secondly, turn off personalized ads. Many streaming applications also collect data. For example, Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime. In the account privacy section, you can usually turn off personalized ads. This does not completely eliminate ads, but it reduces the use of your data for targeting. Third, place the smart TV on a separate Wi-Fi network. This is a tip that many tech-savvy people often use. Instead of having the TV share the network with phones, laptops, tablets, You can place the TV on the guest network on the router. That means the TV still has internet access, but does not directly communicate with other devices in the house. A small layer of protection, but quite effective. Fourth, block trackers using a router or Pi-hole. If you enjoy tinkering with technology a bit, you can use Pi-hole, firewall router, to block domains that specialize in data collection. Simply put, the TV still works, but some tracking servers will be blocked before the TV connects, like a gatekeeper standing at the internet's door. And here's the interesting part. After turning off a few tracking features, your TV still watches Netflix, plays games, watches YouTube. Nothing has changed. Except for one thing. Less of your data is being sent. Technology is not the enemy, but understanding how it works helps you maintain control. If you find these kinds of insights interesting, the kind that breaks down marketing to see how technology actually works, you can subscribe to the channel. In the end, the story is not about whether smart TVs are good or bad. The real issue is they are designed to collect data by default. Today's TVs are not just screens. It is an entertainment device, an advertising platform, and sometimes a tool for analyzing user habits. The good news is, you don't have to throw away your TV. You just need to understand how it works, turn off unnecessary features, and maintain control over your data. Like many other technologies, when you understand the system, you are no longer a passive user. Now I'm very curious about one thing. Which brand of TV are you using? Samsung, LG, Sony, TCL, or another brand? Please leave a comment below. Who knows? Your story might help others see technology from a different perspective. If you enjoy videos that dissect the technology behind marketing, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Each week, we will explore interesting topics about technology, privacy, smart devices, and how technology really works behind the scenes. A small note. This video is intended to share information and raise awareness about technology privacy, not intended to attack or criticize any brand. The companies mentioned all have their own privacy policies and user control options. The goal of the video is simply to help you better understand the technology you are using. And if you think this video can help someone understand more about smart TVs, please share it with them. Who knows? The TV in their living room might know more than they think.